Hello viewers, welcome back to the Omoino Youth Waka TV. We are glad to have you back, and in this segment I want to say personally I've worked with Pastor Moino for over 10 years, and he's a man of high integrity, discipline. He doesn't give you work and just go to sleep. If it means him folding his sleeves to join to ensure the job is done, and he follows through the process, he sets systems that even in his absence the system makes work to run. Can you tell us why you think the other people there, the viewers, should believe or should also believe with you that Pastor Moino is the right person for this job?
Yes, I think that is easy. We can play about around his leadership character, because his leadership character are distilled. This leadership character are very, very distilled. He has the character, he has the capacity, he has the competence. Then capacity simply means this person has what it takes to contain a situation per unit time. He has what it takes. Put him under pressure, he knows how to work under pressure. Put him where there is no pressure, he knows how to work where there is no pressure. He is disciplined and very accountable. So he has that capacity. Then the other thing is competence. Somebody to have the skill, that capacity to do things, not just to do them, but to do them in an excellent way, because he's a man with the touch of excellence. So he has that capacity to do work with excellence. He is skilled. He always develops himself. He wants to seek for the best. He's not a mediocre person. He's somebody that speaks about excellence. He does excellence in all the things he does. Then you know that when somebody is an excellent person, is skilled, but does not have character, it becomes what is called a smooth criminal. Wow. The person knows what to do, but there is no character to withdraw and say, okay, I won't do this. Because character talks about integrity, speaks to your integrity, which is a social currency. For instance, if I don't have money to start a business, if I have character and somebody knows that they can believe that if they give me this thing to go and sell, after selling it, I will refund the money, the person would give it to me to go and sell. After selling, I refund the money. That's character. The person believes in your integrity. But some of the people we have in government are people they can be skilled, but they don't have the integrity. They are smooth criminals. They want to plunder away the commonwealth of everybody. They just siphon it and take it out. So if you have character also, you are a very good person, you are a nice person, and you don't have skills, it becomes what people will call beautiful nonsense. Yes, wow. Because you have the character, but you don't know what to do. But this is a man that comes with a tripod. He has that capacity. He has the character, he also has the competence. And his leadership style is in such a way, he would tell you what he wants to do. He shares the vision. Because one of the characteristics of a leader is to be able to tell people, where are you taking them to? Now, when you tell them where are you taking them to, how are you actually taking them from point A to point B? You need to have action steps. Not for somebody to come and tell you, we want to build everybody from what foundation? What do you use to build people? What are your yardsticks of building people? Because some of these things are cliches that politicians just come and say it. You can be very nice with words. That's why most people, we have what is called voters apathy. Most people don't vote because they believe it's the same thing, not them. So when they believe in all of those things, you must have somebody that has this capacity to show people that, okay, I can help you to build infrastructures. I can put things in place. I can put systems in place that whether you know somebody or you don't know somebody, you will be served with excellence. It's like going to one of his outlets, whether Royalty or Signature. If you go there, you'll be served with excellence, whether he's there or he's not there, because it is a system that has been put in place. Yes. So he has everything that it takes, and he's a business person. He has a business background. Then from this business background is to support SMEs, small-scale businesses. In fact, in one of his consultations to the youth, he had spoken about it. He has spoken about stepwise how he's going to give boosters to businesses. And these are viable business, not the traditional way politicians do it. They say they want to give boosters to businesses. You now find out they write names of people who are dead. Names of people who are not near anywhere.
Just to get the money
to their account. But this is somebody, for instance, in the farming scheme that he did, he made to ensure that whenever money is to be given to farmers, it gets to the farmer's account, not to an intermediate, which will swallow the money and nothing happens. So this is somebody that has that capacity and he knows how business. He's a startup manager. If you read through and listen to what he says, he's a startup manager. He knows how to build people. He doesn't believe in giving money to people. When you give money to people, you make them helpless. And for me, one of the characters of a leader is to multiply yourself in people. So if he multiplies himself in people, we have more business-oriented people. If you bring a traditional politician, he said, I used to give people things, I've empowered people. You only empowered people to become politicians, to become SAs and PAs to SAs and PA of PA of PA. These are things that are very funny. And it kills creativity of the youth. And how do you think that you went to school with somebody, you were trained alongside with somebody, you have the competence, you have the capacity, you have all what it takes for a job, and you apply for that job, you are not taken. Just because you don't know somebody, or nobody had to sign your form, or nobody had to give you the endorsement. I've seen several places that you go for government, before now you go for government jobs, you find out that you are just wasting your time. So this is somebody that has that practicability. He can make things work. He speaks of the vision to people. People see it and they know what they want. And he's a disciplined person. That's why somebody said that if you are not prone, you can't be productive. One of the things our youths today are afraid of is discipline and accountability. But discipline and accountability, for you to grow in any organization, they are key factors that you must follow. Somebody must be there as a father figure. Somebody must be there. I like, one of my mentors is Reverend Sam Adeyemi. And there was a seminar I attended, he talked about accountability. That even as he is as a person, he has somebody he's accountable to. Somebody at that height, being accountable. And when you are accountable, you make progress. For you to say, I want to be independent, independence comes with a price. Are you willing to pay that price? And it is a very expensive price that independence comes with. So we must be able to discipline people. He has that discipline and the capacity to make sure things go. I remember a time he said something important. He said he's very careful about the things he does. That the way you sign off 10 naira is the way you sign out 10 million naira. That is the same signature. So this is somebody who is careful about details. And I listened to what he said in one of his interactions. He was talking about that. He is careful to details because of how his father brought him up. I also challenge other people to tell me how they were brought up. I challenge other aspirants. Tell me how you were brought up. What society brought you up? What's the system that produced you? What do you intend to replicate in the society? It's not about coming to shout, we jump, we chant. After the motivation, we will see the real work.
The real work.
So what do we want to see in Akwa Ibom? Those are the type of things. And he's somebody that loves to empower women. Because when you empower a woman, you empower the family. So he is one person that is big on it. There are several programs that he has done that he has given money to women to start businesses. Those things are littered everywhere. Just that he's not somebody that when he wants to do something, he will call camera and say, come and video. There's something I want to do. Then they now video, then he now post it somewhere. He's not that type of a person. So many people have benefited from him. Some he doesn't even know them. So when people begin to talk, you should bring out your strong point. You should be able to align your thoughts with reality. Align your thoughts with reality. You know there is a power gap between the powerful and the powerless. I see Pastor Moino as somebody who can bridge that gap. Because a society, we may not know the consequences of such a society. When you have that gap, that is very wide. The powerful become very powerful, the less powerful become very weak. And when people are perceived to be weak, there is something that is called learned helplessness. They think they are helpless. They have low self-esteem, so they depend on somebody. They just depend on people. But that is not how developed nations work. So he has that character. In fact, he's an embodiment of so many things. You can't, in fact, Omoino is more than a university to study. Wow. If you want to study his person, is more than a university. So these are things people should come out with, strong points, be able to know, not about the emotions. When the emotions subside, hunger does not know emotion. So these are the things people need to be practicable about. Our governor, for instance, now, as it is, one of the signature projects he has done is Ibom Air. And if Pastor Moino does not replace him as governor, that project would die. I grew up in Cross River State. Now, when Donald Duke was governor of Cross River State, he made Cross River State a paradise where people were proud. Every Cross Riverian was proud to be called a Cross Riverian. And what happened? He was replaced by a senator. Unfortunately.
A practical politician.
A traditional politician. And they have, okay, go now. Tinapa is moribund. You go to Budukatu Ranch, it's moribund. My fear is this may be the same thing that will happen to Ibom Air. Now, you can, in fact, if you go out of Akwa Ibom, you'll be proud to be an Akwa Ibomite. When they ask you, where are you from? You say, I'm from Akwa Ibom. They say, oh, Ibom Air.
Ibom Air.
You walk with pride. So who are the people that when they come, who can further continue these strides
the development
and begin to build, increase capacity in people, begin to work with SMEs, bring up businesses so that prosperity will thrive in the land. One of the things he has talked about is to build the middle class. And it's doable. He has told us the practical steps that he wants to take. Not for somebody to say, how I am even surprised that we have people in government who have served for more than 16 years. They are still telling you that when they become governor, they will come and find out what you need. You've been
they would have known the need of
in
the people.
Government. You don't know the need of the people. So a governorship seat, let's not trivialize it. It's not a place for experimentation. It's a place with somebody with practical capacity should mount that seat and be able to change the dynamics for us. We are tired of this traditional politics. So I think we should all even retire all of them.
Well, thank you. Our president has really said it all. He has really dealt with the points, and I want to believe that the youth have heard this, and we are going to work together, and we are going to harness the strength of the youth of this Akwa Ibom State and support Umoino for Governor come May 2023. So in that vein, I will want to really for you to talk to the youth, because as the youth, when they say they want to appoint the youth leader, they go and appoint someone above 60 and say the youth is in the heart. But for me, I'm not in that school of thought, but I believe you are youth, and you are an entrepreneur, you are a lecturer, and you've been in that system. You've seen youth with different mindsets, teaching them and seeing their way of life, and seeing the ones that are serious, that are non-serious. I believe in that field, you can be able to say, okay, this is who the youth of Akwa Ibom State is, and how would you encourage them to change this narrative that we are talking about, to be able to know that, okay, the time has changed, that it's time that the youth should take things seriously, and also to vote in to power the person that will be able to carry them along. Because I remember when in one of his consultations, he said the youth will now have a seat on the table, that they will no more take crumbs, that they go to, say, House of Reps, Senate, and comes out with so much money and throw peanuts to them? I believe in that area you will be able to talk to the youth. What would you say to the youth of Akwa Ibom State?
Well, for me, to the youth, it's we should do away with the mentality of this get rich quick syndrome. I go blow. Anything that blows does not stay alive. So you hear people say, I go blow. How will you blow? They say, don't worry. You know, these traditional politicians, what they have done a great disservice to the youth. Now, why do I say so? Some of them, they have raised people that are mediocres. They have raised people that are mediocres. They have even made it as if going to school is not important. Wow. Going to school, reading, and passing exams, and becoming a model student is not important. Rather, you see the type of people they raise, these traditional politicians. They raise people after their characters. I still want some of them to tell us some of this empowerment. An ordinary person that has been empowered, who is doing business. Some of them, they don't. They don't. So it only takes somebody that is doing business to be able to raise people in business. Like the youth, for instance. Let us know that success is a process. I read in a book that says that success is what you define it to mean. Success does not really mean having a whole lot of money. If you have a whole lot of money, you will find out that if you don't have the character, you kill yourself. So success on its own, the young people should know that we have the capacity, we have what it takes for us to build wealth. It's just for people to show us how it is done. And let me give you a typical example, the Nwa Boy system that the Igbo people use. Okay. It's an apprenticeship system that is even studied in Harvard. So you find out that they will take somebody from the village and say, stay with this man.
And learn
maybe the person is supposed to stay there for 4 or 5 years just to learn the nitty-gritties of those trades. Because it is late Archbishop Benson Idahosa that said that a lizard in Nigeria cannot become a crocodile in America. And he also said that when somebody is succeeding 10 times on what you are trying to succeed once, know that there's something he knows that you don't know. So just humble yourself and ask that person. So what we need to do, we need to go back to that system where we know that there is a time to learn and there is a time to earn. So go have mentorship in business. Sometimes young people just start business because they see another person doing it. That another person is succeeding does not mean you will succeed if you don't know the principles behind those businesses. So there is something called the law of process. It takes time. From the time you plant, it's like planting a seed today. Tomorrow you go and dig it up to check if it has grown. You are killing what you started. So we should understand that there is something called the law of process, the law of stretching. When it seems as if you are tired, go again. That's why I like Pastor Omono. We've worked closely. You find out that even if it's 2 a.m., you see him very active. He checks things by himself. He does not even believe in what you told. You told him, okay, this book is well arranged. You will be surprised he will appear here just to check that this book has been arranged.
Well arranged.
So those are the things you must imbibe. Those are the things you need to draw. It becomes an inspiration that if somebody can work like this, it means it's possible. It's possible to replicate it in business. So we need all of these things. And he has spoken about model schools. He has spoken about these hubs. Let our young people know that the future is heavily pregnant for them. There would be employment opportunity, not for just you to employ to be employed, but for you to become an employer of people. He said, train people. Don't just train them to be relevant in Akwa Ibom. Train them to become global and world players. These are the skill set you distill in people, and you make them become. They take out money from their pocket and buy new cars. Not to give people Tokumbo vehicles. Or some that cannot even be driven out from the place of empowerment. So you put people in the right perspective. You give them the adequate skills. Our young people, one thing is that I found out a study, a survey that said that 60% of the youth are unproductive. That simply means they don't have a skill set. Going to university, graduating from university does not mean that you are employable. You just have the requisite knowledge. But you don't have the skills that are necessary because the world is developing. For instance, you need to up your skills. Somebody who was a traditional banker yesterday, if you don't develop skills and look for other things to do, the ATM has taken the place of a cashier. You have that you can pay in through the ATM, you can withdraw through the ATM, and with time, you may not even need to go to the banking hall. You use your app now, just swap things and go your way. So, if you are studying traditional things, you will not be relevant in the 21st century. That's why he talked about the science park. So these are practicable things that are coming. We need to know that we need to skill up. We can become a model for Nigeria to copy if we allow Moino become the governor, the next governor. You find out that this is a man that is full of ideas. He's doing business and his business is graduating from one level to another, to another, to another. I bet he is the only person that has a stake in this Akwa Ibom as far as people that are contesting this election are concerned. Anybody that does not have a business here knows that he can run away at any time. But all he has is in this town.
Invested in this state.
So that's, in fact, he's more than an example. He's a model where people should copy. If, for instance, all the money our traditional politicians have stolen, if they have invested it in business in this town will be something else.
Wow.
So let the youth not be deceived by the crumbs people give to them. I may want to end with this story of something that happened to somebody close to me. He had a political mentor he was looking up to. And the man told him, when he finished university, the man told him, don't worry, I'll give you a job. And there was a job that came out from an oil company. A slot came out. And the money that was paid for that slot was 400,000 naira per month. And this young man was qualified for this job. And the young man didn't know. But his political godfather sold that job to somebody else outside and was collecting 20% of that job money for the space of time that job would last.
Yes.
Why did he not give it to this young man? Nobody could answer that question. But there was a time also that you have that another slot came out. And that slot, the pay for that slot was 40,000 naira every month. And he now called this young man and said, there's a job. God has finally answered your prayer. And gave him this job of 40,000, which was an excavation job that was supposed to last for 6 months. And told him, God has finally blessed you. Now, the question is this. To this boy now, that man is his savior. He has saved him. He has given him a job. But in the real sense, is that man helping him?
No.
It's not helping him. He saw him not to be qualified for a job of 100,000, but qualified him for a job of 40,000, so that he should be economically enslaved, to be a perpetual slave to him. And these are the things our young people need to understand. I don't mean that you can't serve people, you can't work for people, but you must be able to have what is called your own. Have your personal dignity intact. Let somebody, when you call a person, the person picks your call knowing that you are not coming to beg, but knows that you want to discuss something important with the person. Or the person sees you and tells the secretary, I'm not around. Why? Because they know you don't have values. So once you build values and scale up and have these things, your time is coming. It was Benjamin Disraeli that said that when opportunity meets with preparation, that's success. So we need to be ready. This is our time. You need to join this move. It is a movement. So it is either you join or you join. Yes. So you need to understand that the time has come for the liberation of the youth of Akwa Ibom State from that strings of slavery from our political slave masters. It is now for us to emancipate yourself. It was Bob Marley that says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. That's the highest form of slavery. It's called neocolonialism. So we need to be emancipated. Don't allow anybody. Why did that person not give you that thing for free? Why did he tell you to swear? It's because he wants you to be tied to his apron string. So it is time for us to arise and say no. Let's emancipate ourselves from all these fetish things, and we'll just see ourselves. The sky won't even be our limit. We'll fly past the skies. It is only them that are telling us that we cannot, but we can. You know that the youth made a statement during the NSAS. The Nigerian government itself felt the impact that this youth, if they come together, have the mind to transform this country, it can be done. So it's possible. We can start it with Akwa Ibom State, flush out all of those traditional politicians, bring in somebody that has capacity.
Well, thank you, viewers. Pastor Moino is not just the man for 2023, he's a model. And he has said it that the youth should build capacity. Let's build capacity together. Let's support Pastor Moino. See you in the next segment of Umoino Youth Waka TV. Thank you for being with us.